Hello, and welcome to This Week in James City County. I'm your host, Renee Dahlman. We are continuing our trip behind the scenes to meet all of the folks that work hard for this county that we do not necessarily see all the time out on the street. So today I have Anna Ripley. Joanna is the Assistant Director of General Services, and we are joined also by Tyler Buel. Tyler is the Utility Account Representative. Welcome.
Hi, we're happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Okay, well, this should be fun because I know that you both do a whole lot of stuff that not a whole lot of people know about. So we're going to jump right in. Joanna, starting with you, can you tell us what is it that your division is responsible for?
Let me say hello again. I work in General Services Department, and the department has 6 divisions.
Okay.
We have facilities, grounds, fleet maintenance, solid waste and recycling, general and capital services, and stormwater and resource protection. Our department has roughly 130 full, part-time, limited term folks. In addition, General Services is responsible for managing the operating and capital budget that's equates to roughly $24 million. My primary role is to oversee the facilities maintenance department, which includes our custodial services folks. I also manage all the support staff that's associated with administrative work, our database, our information systems, all those, really key support folks. And our support services, they also help develop our asset work order, preventative maintenance schedules, cost allocation. We have roughly a little over 8,000 assets here in James City County that we have to keep records on. And for context, just so you know what we consider an asset, those include buildings, parcels, parks, the courthouse, just to name a few. And our staff also answers the various phone lines for all those different divisions, making sure that the caller gets accurate information. And we are the record keepers of all of the as-built records for 120 plus buildings or so, and 188 parcels that really encompasses all the work that the division does. We also establish the safety and cleanliness in each of the buildings. And I oversee the curbside recycling program that services roughly 12,000 plus customers in the community.
My goodness, that is an amazing list.
Yeah.
Wow. So based on that, I know that you, Joanna, only have 24 hours in a day, I'm assuming. What does a typical day look like for you?
So I love the question, Renee. Thank you. I don't really have a typical day,
Okay.
but I do want to, kind of help folks kind of see all the really neat things we get to do here in General Services. So, from facilities maintenance to our support services, curbside recycling, the things that we do it as a team. And I couldn't do any of my job without the team that I have. I have a phenomenal team. So some of the stuff that I work on is the operating and capital budget, as well as development of the work plan for the year, and then obviously future years of, what we're trying to accomplish. To put that into context and kind of build on how we develop our budget, we have a robust budget process. I work with the team. We're looking at our operational data. We've got several databases that maintain records pertaining to all of our different assets. And we're balancing the scheduling of when do we replace those assets, right? We want to get the most out of them. We want to make sure that we're adhering to life cycle requirements, building occupant comfort and how they use their spaces. So we're monitoring the facilities and the equipment annually. Every year we're doing an assessment. And then we're developing those replacement costs and timing that cost data with the county's budget cycle, so that we can make those submissions to our financial management folks. Every year I meet with most departments because I think it's important to get a building occupant's perspective on their space, right? We're looking at it from a maintenance perspective. We don't necessarily know how folks are actually using the space and if they're going to have new staff coming on board. So we will work with them to modify, develop plans to modify the spaces, get those cost estimates together so that our folks know what the cost and the process is to make those modifications to their space. Using various databases, I do a lot of trending data. I look at the construction industry and as a whole, and I see, what our materials cost, what our labor costs. That helps us develop some escalation rates for some of the pricing we may have gotten in previous years for work that we know is coming down the pike. So we're looking at that, and we try to project our projects over a 5 to 10 year period. To help kind of smooth out workload, but also so that you're not having so many dollars in one year versus other years. It helps kind of with the process. We do grant applications. I wrote a grant for Dominion Energy. We were able to get a EV charging station at the rec center for our public. That is a public station. We look at cost data to reduce costs. For example, our consumption bills, we review those bills every month, and we're looking at ways to save. Perfect example, we have the courthouse. They were able to work with some of the set point data, and they were able to reduce the energy consumption by 4.2% over our summer months, and those are generally our higher bill months. So we're looking at a lot of data such as that. We bill, like I mentioned, roughly 12,000 residents for curbside recycling. We set up accounts, we close the accounts as needed, and we act as a liaison between the service provider and the resident. We collaborate with a variety of staff on various issues, from whether it's from the public or from the staff, and we try to develop solutions in the community or in the buildings to resolve those issues. And then I also have a lot of opportunities to go out in the public and speak with folks. And I really do enjoy that, getting out there and talking with the residents. I feel like if I can help them better understand a process or a program, that's where I really enjoy getting out there and talking to folks. And that's just a snippet of what we do.
Okay, well, that's very overwhelming. That is a lot. I think that, you're actually the behind the scenes,
Right.
that every time we see a weed eater, when that weed eater was purchased,
Right.
how much longer that weed eater has to go, how much energy it's just,
Yes.
That is amazing to me. I have a hard time keeping track of one roof with my house and 2 cars and a lawnmower. So I can't even begin. So we're going to leave that there for right now, Joanna. Tyler, let's go to you.
Yes.
Tell me, what is a typical day like for you? Is it as overwhelming as what Joanna just said?
No, generally not. But I generally answer the county's recycling hotline.
Okay.
And I will also help with other phone lines if they're overwhelmed or having high traffic. I also do responses for recycling, communicate with VIPSA, which is a state organization that operates regionally, and TFC, our recycling contractor. And so the bulk of my time is spent communicating, responding with residents, and trying to get them their service through TFC, whether that's front porch services or bulk cardboard pickups, or just a normal recycling collection that may have been missed or some other issue. So, and also managing the accounts for those and the like.
And one thing I would say, that if any folks have called into the recycling hotline, they've probably talked to Tyler. And Tyler does a phenomenal job making sure that those folks get the answers that they need or the help that they need. with their service or their account.
So, Tyler, I'm going to say your job is pretty overwhelming too, because every time you answer the phone, you have no idea, the issue that's going to be on the line that needs to be resolved. And I have kind of done what you do a little bit over social media, and that's a lot. So I appreciate you being that kind voice on the phone that help people work through that, because you're dealing with people's recyclables, with people's money. That's pretty big stuff. So glad you are with us. What would you say, Tyler, not letting you off the hook yet, what would you say is the favorite part of your job?
I have to say the favorite part of my job is probably those occasions where I meet or get to talk to someone who is really happy. And usually when people are calling, it's not because they're happy.
Right.
It's because there's an issue that needs to be resolved. So those occasions where there's someone with an issue and they are just they're just a joy. Those are the ones that just make my day. There was one gentleman a little bit ago who he had the cheesiest jokes I've ever heard, and was just very, very, very positive, very kind, and that was weeks ago, and I'm still remembering the conversation. It was those conversations are definitely the highlight.
That's really nice. All of those watching, this is a great opportunity that if you have some good cheesy jokes or some good dad jokes, and if your family's tired of hearing them, call the recycling hotline and give them to Tyler. They will make his day for a while. I like that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. And then, Tyler, if you do get those calls, you'll have to let me know what the jokes are, because I love cheesy jokes as well. How about you, Joanna? What's your favorite part of your job?
So, the favorite part of my job is the folks that I work with. I live in the community, so I definitely want this community to succeed. And I feel like everybody that I work with, not just here in general services, but in James City County, they really do want this community to succeed. They want the residents to be successful, and they place a high value on our community and the services that we provide. So, I genuinely believe that it's truly the people, both, the folks that work here and the residents. That's why I come to work every day.
That's great. That's great. Tyler, going back to you. If you had a position open and you wanted to recruit somebody to come and work with you here at James City County, what would you tell them that would try to tempt them to come our way? Besides the jokes, the cheesy jokes. Absolutely.
Well, obviously they get to work with me. So
obviously.
But so what I tell them is that we do something that is important. Recycling is important, and we do have some unique programs in James City County as a subset of that. So something as simple as bulk cardboard pickups, helping people who are moving in get rid of all those boxes that you have accumulating, and or something like our glass program that we've done in conjunction with Owens, Illinois. We also help with the questions that come in for the convenience centers, and so there is with changes that have occurred over the years with the convenience center, there's still some confusion there, and so there is also the chance to allay some of that confusion. So so you would have the opportunity to make a difference by recycling, but also just to make a difference in the everyday life of the residents, help them get clarification on a lot of things that are confusing. Our trash pickup is often very confusing for people. we have a lot of providers that operate in James City County, and a lot of people are moving in. They're confused. So you would have that opportunity, and so you would be doing something that would help James City County for the best.
And I think you hit it spot on, all three of us. It's all about that public service, being
Absolutely.
able to provide something valuable to folks to make everyone's lives better. I
Absolutely.
think that you hit it right there. How about you, Joanna?
I think for me that I'm going to go back to the people, because I do think it's very important who you work with, right? And I come into work every day. Folks are nice. They're greeting you in the morning. And it's not just here in general services, because I'm in a lot of the other buildings as well. So it really is the people. And I think that mindset comes from the top down, right? So we have, as staff, we feel supported by our county administrator, by our board, by our internal supervisors. And you can see that in the staff. They're happy and they're healthy. And then I'm going to throw a little plug in for our human resources, because they do a phenomenal job keeping employees engaged in a lot of different ways that aren't necessarily work related, which I think is great, because it builds that camaraderie, and we all then want to do our best and make sure that we are meeting the goals and the mission of the county. So it's hands down the people for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Tyler, I know that you don't work all 24 hours a day. What kinds of things do you enjoy doing when you're not here at work?
I like gardening and reading, listening to podcasts. It's the only way I can get my chores done. But yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. I love that. And of course, This Week in James City County is one of your all-time favorites, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good answer, Tyler.
Good job. Good job. All right. How about you, Joanna? What do you do when you're not at work?
So like I said, I live here. So I have a family. My family's here. I'm married. I have 5 kids and 2 dogs. My in-laws are here. My parents are here. So family is very important to me. I spend a lot of time with my family. But we also like to travel. So we recently went to Gatlinburg this past summer. It was beautiful. Loved it. And I am a loud baseball mom, which some folks may not know about me. So you will see me at War Hill 2 to 3 times a week cheering on my kiddo for baseball. So
Nice.
And I enjoy reading. I probably read about a book a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, both of you, thank you so much. We've been doing several of these episodes, and every time I hear just more and more about things that I had no idea were going on every day with general services. You all are amazing, and we are very lucky to have you. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Renee, for having us. We've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad, right?
No, it was not bad. You made it very painless.
Painless. Very good. All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up this episode of This Week in James City County. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please be sure to subscribe. That way you will never miss an episode. And also go to our website. We're at jamescitycountyva.gov/podcast. And while there, you're going to find all of our episodes as well as a form that you can complete, give us feedback, show ideas, comments, critiques. We would love to hear from you. So once again, thank you so much, and we will talk with you next time.